So Trump shut down the USAID agency, and I cannot get payments from the United States government anymore. Therefore, I cannot continue making my videos and I need your help. At least this is what some people comment under my recent video with a clickbaity title, Homeless in Warsaw. So in this video, I want to talk about my financial situation, how I make money on this channel, what do I think about the opposite side, YouTubers who support Russia, depicting it mostly in a positive light, do they get funding from the Russian government? Also, I will tell you about the moment of my life when I actually was sponsored by the government of the United States. So let's start. I get a lot of comments from people saying that I'm homeless because now I cannot get money from Uncle Sam anymore. Trump liquidates USAID. Soon you'll end up in the street. What are you talking about? I'm already in the street. USAID funding for regime change and LGBT bloggers has come to an abrupt halt thanks to Musk. Hooray. Poor Natasha. She's an accident victim of USAID. So the USAID is an agency that basically promotes American interest, funding different development programs. There were programs for global health, fighting poverty, famine, and so on. And that's how some people connected my criticism of the Russian government with getting financial aid. So before I used to hear such opinions from people who didn't like me criticizing some aspects of life in Russia. Even pro-Russian Westerners who moved to Russia and start their YouTube channels criticized me for purposely filming only the bad parts of my town, because this is what YouTube, an American company, promotes, and that was the only reason I got many views, according to their logic. But recently I started receiving even more comments like this. Yeah, now I want to tell you all the truth. Now I'll tell you how I started this channel. It was in 2018 when I was a second-year student in my university in Khabarovsk. I always enjoyed basically telling foreigners about my country, its culture, and the Russian language. I could not overlook the poverty I saw around and also my growing discontent with the Russian government, because also back then there were protests in my region. And then in 2022, the invasion of Ukraine started, and I became even more critical of the government because of course I did not support this, and I made a decision to leave Russia because of the anxiety, because I was constantly afraid of going to jail for my online posts, and also I couldn't earn money from YouTube anymore. And I found asylum here in Georgia. It's still not my final destination, but at least I managed to firstly get rid of anxiety, not just anxiety but justified concerns about my freedom, and secondly I managed to set up my internship and continue getting my income from YouTube. Basically, I have two income sources. It's monetization and donations. When I monetize my videos, YouTube shows ads to you, and that's how money accumulates on my AdSense accounts. Also, there is a YouTube membership where you can subscribe for monthly payments and get bonus videos and be able to write comments with unique emoji, unique to my channel. Also, there is another donation platform, Patreon, and it works the same as YouTube membership. Personally, Patreon is better for me because it takes only 5% fee from the money I get from my supporters, while YouTube takes 30%. But I understand why YouTube membership is more practical for some people, because there you don't have to leave the platform. And there's one more platform I use, which is Buy Me a Coffee. It's good both for memberships and for one-time donations. And I'm really grateful to all of you who support me on these platforms, because basically my YouTube channel helped me to improve my standard of living, to move out of Russia and start building my new life here. And I don't know how my life would look now if not for YouTube. So that is it. This is how I make money on YouTube. There is no secret channel through which I get those filthy dollars from Uncle Sam. But now I have to confess something to you. In fact, I was sponsored by the United States government at some point of my life. In 2019, when I studied in Khabarovsk, I applied for an exchange program, Year of Exchange in America for Russians. It is not funded by USAID, but it is funded by the American Embassy in Moscow and administered by the American Council for Foreign Education, which is a non-profit, non-governmental organization. By this program, I went to the United States for 2 semesters, lived with an American host family. For the first 2 weeks, it was a true immersion into American culture. After that, I went to the University of Minnesota, where I was placed to. It was obligatory to choose one subject each semester regarding American culture, so I chose history of indigenous people and also history of Minneapolis. But mostly, I took classes that I wanted to try myself in. It was so unusual that, wow, I can choose subjects. And Russian university is already decided for you when you apply for a specific major. So I took yoga classes, filmmaking, Chinese, German. Also visited a lot of student clubs, and it was such an amazing time because I learned about the United States, but also I learned about Russia too, because besides me, there were other exchange students from Russia. Even now, we still have our group chat where we help each other. It is a very beneficial networking. These are people to look up to. And this program, including accommodation, was paid for me. I only had to use my own money for traveling during breaks. It was life-changing. I was the happiest person in the world when I received this letter from Hogwarts. And I have nothing against such programs. Russia can do the same, right? I keep saying that it was an exchange program, but actually there were no American students who would go to Russia, so it was a one-sided thing. Because Russia doesn't pay foreign students to go to the universities in our country, live with a local family, learn about the culture. No, they expand their influence by other means. Did this program make me even more critical of the Russian government? Yes, of course, because I saw a better standard of living and at least a decent level of democracy, which is now in a very risky condition. But anyway, my political views and opinions on the Russian government formed before that program. And actually, that exchange program gave such a boost for my channel because I looked at Russia now from a foreigner's perspective, and I started seeing some advantages that Russia has in comparison with the United States, and I discussed it as well in my videos. And the cherry on top is that now the American Councils for International Education that administrated my exchange program are banned in Russia, and the Russian Ministry of Justice designated American councils as undesirable organization. If you participate in the activity of this organization, you can get administrative or criminal penalties. But I'm so happy I managed to jump into the last wagon and get those filthy dollars. But since we already started speaking about a possibility to get funding from some government, I want to talk about the dark side of YouTube. Those Westerners who moved to Russia, either to Moscow or to the forest of Siberia, either way, their Western income will help them a lot compared to regular Russian people. Anyway, they moved to Russia with their Russian wives and start YouTube channel where they show how clean Moscow streets are. I'm jealous of the fact that, unlike myself, they can freely walk around Russia, make content about the culture, get views. This is what I used to do, and yeah, honestly, I'm envy. And another thing that pisses me off is that these people are detached from reality. They praise Moscow clean streets and Putin and the war. These people are just lost in the mythological set of traditional values that Russia never possessed. Anyway, they think that I am the one who is lost in my woke world And these YouTubers also get comments like, oh, you're sponsored by the Russian government, how much Kremlin pays you. Of course, there is a big network of media outlets like Russia Today that are funded by the Russian government and that promote its interests. But speaking about these regular people, I don't think that they receive messages from the government directly. By this video, I don't want to overlook real problems and struggles that some people might have now. Probably a lot of health and educational programs in different countries will be closed now. But in this video, I wanted to focus mostly on my channel and whether I am getting money from the USAID. I do not get support from any government, but I do get it from people. So I think it's a good time to remind you once again that you can support me. Here on YouTube, you can send a super thanks, which is a one-time donation. You can become a member of my channel. Also, you can support me on Patreon and on Buy Me a Coffee. There is a free opportunity to support my channel as well. You can like this video, write a comment, subscribe to my channel, and this will show YouTube that this video is interesting, and thus it will promote it and show it to other potential viewers. Thank you very much for watching this video, for supporting me for such a long time. Have a good day. Goodbye. Пока-пока.